Darnell Mooney is officially back to being a true wide receiver 2 in the NFL. This guy looked so good on Thursday Night Football against the Buccaneers. He was catching everything. This guy is really one of those mid-in, mid-out guys that can really just break off routes and get into the open space. Drafted in 2020 with the Bears, being a fifth-round pick. He went off for 631 yards his rookie season, receiving 61 catches and had 4 touchdowns. Coming into 2021, the Bears drafted Justin Fields, and there was a lot of hype around them, obviously, and you were excited to see, Darnell Mooney go into his second season with a true quarterback in Justin Fields, which everyone thought at the time was going to be, a slam dunk. They're like, how did we get this guy a pick 13, 14, 12? I can't remember what pick it was, but it was, he was the 5th quarterback taken in that draft, and at the end of the year, they thought they really had something because Darnell Mooney went off for 1,055 yards and 81 catches and 4 touchdowns again, and this looked like this guy could be a potential 1,500-yard receiver his junior year. But that was not the case for Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney only had 493 yards receiving on 40 catches. I can't remember if he was injured at all that year. He only played 12 games, so not every game that season. But when you look at his seasons before that, he did play every game those seasons. He played 16 games, 17 games. So being down 4 to 5 games is going to hurt your stats, obviously. But he just was not a priority target for Justin Fields at all. And that was on 40 catches in 2022, and then in 2023 it got even worse. Only 31 catches and even more games played, 15. I know Justin Fields was hurt a little bit, I think, this year, and I know they had Nathan Peterman and Tyson Bagnet play at times, but he just had nothing going, and then the Bears obviously just let him walk. Only 414 yards. They're like, hey, we can get a better value guy. They ended up, going out and getting Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze. They already had DJ Moore. And it was just really obvious that Luke Getsy was just an awful offensive coordinator for Darnell Mooney and really just did not use him at all. I know DJ Moore loved having Justin Fields because he was more of a deep threat, short threat, catch and run type of guy, go up and get it. That's not what Darnell Mooney is. Darnell Mooney just gets in space, and in 2024, we have Darnell Mooney playing fantastic football. He's played 4 games, 15 catches, 225 yards, 15 receiving yards average, and then also 41 is his yards, is his longest reception, 1 touchdown on the season. You love to see it, and I just think this team looks so good right now with Darnell Mooney as a wide receiver too. He really just is a good compliment to Drake London, who's a true deep threat, go up and get it guy. I think Drake London is a much better overall player than DJ Moore is. DJ Moore does not create space well, and I think that was something that was really hurting Justin Fields in a way. Justin Fields obviously threw a lot of interceptions last year for the Bears, and DJ Moore does not get much separation on his routes. You can look at it. I know DJ Moore can have great years and stuff, but if you throw that ball just a little late or not there, there's almost no wiggle room with DJ Moore. You have to throw it on the money, anything intermediate, short almost, unless he gets, a good step, which he almost never gets a good step on the, short stuff. He can get some space, find some space in zone coverage at time, but if it's man, he's not getting any separation. That's why he'll have a lot of big games. He had that insane game against Emmanuel Forbes back in, I think, 2023 against the Washington Commanders, and that created a lot of his stats. I think he had 4 touchdowns that game, and a lot of that was just after the catch. That wasn't really Justin Fields doing much. There's this Emmanuel Forbes is awful, and we know that for a fact now because Emmanuel Forbes can't start, doesn't get any playing time on the Commanders this year, and they just faked an injury or whatever for him, I believe, this year, and he is no longer even playing. And that's Luke Getsy sucks, but then also at the same time, Justin Fields sucks. Justin Fields is an awful passer. I don't care that a guy like George Pickens is having a good year. No one else on that team is having a good year receiving wise, except maybe Pat Freiermuth for a tight end, but even then, tight ends receiving average yards is down a lot over the past 4 or 5 years. there's really not much going on there. Justin Fields is a good runner, obviously, and he fits good enough in that scheme for Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh relies on their amazing defense. So the games are always going to be close as long as the offense isn't turning the ball over a lot, which is exactly what they're asking for. I mean, what Justin Fields is just like a 10 times worse passer. Jaden Daniels, who maybe isn't, he's definitely probably a better runner overall, and that's why they were talking about Justin Fields playing kick returner. So seeing Darnell Mooney get this contract with the Falcons, and now he actually gets to go out there and play with a real quarterback in Kirk Cousins, and eventually in the future Michael Penix Jr. if he's still around, which he may not be. This is one of the best scenarios possible for a guy like Darnell Mooney. And if you're a Falcons fan, there's a lot to like here. You have, two great running backs in Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier. The run game is going to be good. The run game can always be good with Jake Matthews, Lindstrom on that O-line. McGarry at right tackle. It's just a good group of guys. And then also when you just talk about, having Drake London and then also Darnell Mooney, it's just a great fit. I know you want more out of Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is never going to get you more. I don't think there's any world where Kyle Pitts ends up being like a guy who just breaks wide open halfway through the season, even like a third into the season. I don't think Kyle Pitts is ever going to really amount to much in this league when it comes to receiving yards and stuff. I think he'll be like a 500, 600 yard receiver at best. And it sucks to say because Kirk Cousins, found it for like a 31-yard completion this last week. But there's just not much going on there at the tight end position. And then, the wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4, they get enough done on the offense to where you don't have to worry too much. But Drake London just looks like the real deal at receiver with Kirk Cousins. As long as he can stay healthy, Darnell Mooney can stay healthy, be the intermediate threat. When you talk about averaging 15 yards per reception this year now for the Falcons on 15 catches, that's because he's getting past the first down marker and he's just getting to that open space, which is what he's just so exceptionally great at. And honestly, I don't know how far this Falcons team can go because they've been winning a lot of one-score games, which is not always a great sign. You obviously need more of a sample size than 5 games, but if we look at a team like the Vikings who did this with Kirk Cousins, I think 2 years ago now, or 1 year ago, maybe before he got injured, they ended up just getting decimated later on by teams like the Eagles and some other teams, and they actually had like a 3-point differential among all games combined, and it's just never something that's going to work out. So we'll have to wait and see, but make sure to like, subscribe for more of these types of videos, and yeah, peace.